Hello everybody. Just want to get the first video out there for the channel, just kind of expressing what to expect and how we're going to take your game to the next level and get the best poker player at the table. Just a little backstory. I've always had a passion for the game. I've always enjoyed it. I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and I started to take it a little bit more seriously a few years ago, and really started to dive deep into the game and the situations that we are faced every time we play, and how we can control those situations and optimize them into our favor. Like I said, I've spent hundreds of hours learning the game. I have this notebook here full of notes of everything I've ever consumed in the game of poker of knowledge. And let's get into it. Poker is a game about decision making, long-term decision making. Any great poker player will tell you this. We really need to focus about the long-term outcomes of our decisions and about making quality decisions time and time again. And poker is a game of making decisions in uncertainty, and that's why we are going to very much focus on making the correct decision in uncertain situations, because that's how you win. Money, the chips, marbles, whatever you're playing for, is nothing more than a scorekeeper of how many correct decisions are you making. How many times are you putting your opponent into a tough situation? Okay? Much like a game of chess, this game has hundreds and millions and endless amount of outcomes that could happen. And every opponent you play, every game's going to be different, all of it. And with the system that I've created, and developed, and test and trial and error and changing and all the things you could do, I feel like I've created the best system possible of something that isn't out there. There's nothing like the system that I've created of basically a cheat sheet of how to play poker and how to play it not just okay, but great, to leave your opponents confused, to leave them in just to make expose the mistakes that they make repeatedly over and over and over, just like the game of chess. If your opponent moves a piece the wrong way, you expose it, and all of a sudden, everything starts to crumble. And it's a game based off incomplete information. And like what I like to think about is playing chess, but also with the board half covered. You know where your pieces are. You do not know where your opponents are. You know what cards you have. You do not know what cards your opponents have. You do not know what cards are coming. This comes back to the uncertainty that we constantly face, and that why this system is so important. It makes it so easy. You know where your pieces are. You're moving your pieces into the best position, or in this case, our cards, into the best position to get the most value out of them, while also not just throwing away our pieces. We're not going to just start moving pieces just to move them. It's not what we're going to do. We're going to extract value from these pieces. And all of a sudden, if you do that correctly, everything starts to come together, and everything starts to make a lot more sense. We're going to understand the viewpoints of what our actions does to our opponents, and how that puts them in those tough decisions, to make those wrong choices, to make the mistake that we are constantly looking for. Okay, we're gonna understand the game and understand why we're doing the things that we are doing, the framework of why we're raising situations compared to calling, why we're checking here instead of betting. We're gonna understand why in depth, why, because that's very important to understand why you're doing that at a level of even more than just why are we raising instead of calling, but understanding why we're doing that action on top of why we're doing it at X amount, why we're doing it in this situation, a true in depth of why we are doing it. Many great poker players can't even do this. They can't. And we're going to be able to break it down and fully understand the situation. And we're going to this isn't this isn't rule thinking play. This isn't just step by step by step. It may feel like that at some point, but it's not. It's very interchangeable. It fits multiple situations, even the hands and stuff that we cover. You'll notice that the right decision will be, you'll be able to make the even better decision than your opponent in situations we haven't even covered, because you'll realize that all the pieces connect into every single situation you face. And that raising here, and you realize that if I raise here, it leaves him exposed, and now all of a sudden, that's when it starts to click of, now we're creating these situations for our opponent to fail. And that's what we're looking for. So we're going to view it as every action we do is a tool. Sometimes raising is the best. Sometimes just calling is the best. Sometimes checking is the best. And we're going to understand which tool is best for every single job. A hammer may be great for one job, but maybe not for another. And that's how we're going to view it. And this is just kind of a breakdown of this looks like a lot. I get it. There's a lot going on here. But if once there's 20 different things going on in this, and by the time we're done, it's going to be absorbed into 5 things, of mainly like where we are as in positioning, is the board textured, is it multi-way, what's our hand, what's the board looking like, and it will break it down in just a few steps, a few mental checks. That's all it is, and it will become very easily to create these situations for your opponent to fail. We're also going to know when to just wave the white flag, and you'll know, just like if you have ace queen going against ace king or ace jack, they're going to play very similar. Ace king and ace jack are going to play very similar, and with this strategy and with this system, we're going to know when to wave the white flag, when to just play this hand very small, just to lose the least but to win the most. We're going to control the situation. We're going to control the pace of the game. And we're going to also be laying the traps that I continuously talk about. We're going to reduce uncertainty. And we're going to know when to shut down the hand, when to just check. I know there's situations where you got top pair and you want to bet with ace queen. This is a great hand, but sometimes it's best to check, wait to the river, and play it out. Okay? And we're going to be constantly making the right decision, just like Pan here. But it won't be I think I made. It will be 100% certain that we made the right choice. And it's going to help your game, even mentally. It's going to help your game of, I made the right decision. I know I made the right decision, because you're developing this understanding of the game, of why you're doing what you're doing, and it's just going to help you relax and make the right decision instead of this emotional based instinct that you feel to raise, to call. Okay, so we want to get this to where it's calming, and the best part is there's no need to think of ranges or what cards does our villain have. We don't care. There isn't a care. And of course, there's situations where it's going to take some little bit more in-depth thinking, and we'll be ready for those situations. But you will see that by doing the things that we're doing, it's laying out what our next move is, an obvious and easy choice for the right decision. And being the best decision maker will make you the best player. That's what it comes down to. And that's what we're going to learn. And that's where we're going to learn how to expose our opponents. So we're really going to dive deep into this. Like I said, there's charts like this will become very easily able to understand, and you won't even need them. It will become also mental. There will be 3 or 4 main key points that we're going to focus on, and that once you see one, it triggers another, and now you're like, okay, I know exactly how I need to approach this hand, the situation, and how I can maximize profits while minimizing losses for those times that we're facing ace king or ace jack and we got ace queen, and we know that they're going to play very similar, but we're going to control the situation. It's the most important thing. If you please, leave a like, hit the follow, share the video. The content that I'm going to be sharing is one of a kind. It's never been out there before. It's very much like a blackjack chart that you see. The dealer's showing a 10 and we have 12, you're going to hit. It's going to be very simplistic, just like that. The breakdown of the situation of all these endless pieces that we absorb mentally, and trying to understand what's the best move. It's going to take all those things and collapse into one clear and obvious choice. And I'm excited for this. I really am. It's something that's never been out there before. Go look up poker cheat sheet, anything like that for what's the correct move. You're not going to find it. You're going to find a bunch of charts and all this. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And it's something I'm passionate about, and that's why I want to bring it out there, because it truly isn't anything like it. Nothing. So it's going to be light years ahead of your opponents and different understanding of the game and how we can grow. And it makes the game so much more simplistic, so much more enjoyable, and of course, much more profitable. So I'm excited to share this journey with you. There's going to be live streams. There's going to be, obviously, knowledge. There's everything. Your go-to stop for all things poker. And it's going to be more so than just watching hands and taking in knowledge that way. But we're going to break it down. We're going to understand, and in a way that isn't out there before. So I'm excited. It would be a massive regret to not join this journey and to grow your poker game. So like I said, hit the like, hit the follow, share, and we can all grow together. And I can't emphasize it enough. This is a one-of-a-kind system, and I'm bringing it right out there for everyone to see. One of a kind, and I'm excited for it. So thank you again, and I'm excited for more videos just like this.